Coming up today on Shielding Your Retirement, we're going to look at some of the most common fears in retirement and see if we can find ways to help you gain control and hopefully replace those fears with confidence in your retirement. Plus, we'll test your retirement IQ. And later, you'll walk away from today's show with actionable steps that you can take today to start making a difference for your financial future. Shielding Your Retirement starts right now.
Retirement is more than a destination. It's a journey that starts with a dream, a vision for the way you want to live, recharge, and give back. To get there, you need a plan to reach your retirement goals. William Thatcher of Thatcher Wealth Management has the strategies you need to plan for income, taxes, healthcare, and more. For years, William Thatcher has been helping families plan for a successful retirement. Welcome to Shielding Your Retirement with William Thatcher.
Welcome back, William. I'm so glad that you're joining us today as we are talking all about the fears in retirement. We talked about this on so many shows too. Many of us have never done this before, so I think it's okay that we're a little fearful, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a new world for many people, and we sometimes even ask folks, is your first time you did something the best? And it's not.
No, that's why we have practice, right? So I think putting together a plan is a bit of the practice before you get to the big game, so to speak. So thinking about this idea that most Americans feel frightened at the prospect of retirement, is that what you've seen? And if so, why do you think that is?
Yeah, I mean, the first, emotion, right, when we talk to folks about the retirement is often excitement, right? They're saying, oh, this is my date when I turn 65 or whatever that number is, next March in 18 months, that's when we're going to take that launch. But it's often followed, very closely to the fear, right? And that's a, fear associated with the unknown. Of course, it's obviously a big life change, and new things can be, news can be also frightening, right? So, news stories every day that are either pros or cons, right? The market's up, the market's down, Social Security is going away. All of these things make people, feel exposed, right? To the real risks that are out there. And of course, when you've had a job for so long, right? And you've had that paycheck every other week for 40 years, to lose that paycheck and say, well, where's that money coming from is, of course, another big daunting thing. And of course, we think it typically comes down to whether you have a written retirement plan in place. People shouldn't be afraid of retirement. They really should be prepared for retirement. And of course, what we always, say to folks, right? Of course, don't be afraid, right? Just be prepared.
Well, that is what we're going to do today. So get ready. We're going to hopefully help you feel maybe a little bit more prepared about your plan or show you what the right next steps might be for you. So we're going to be hitting some of the main takeaways of a recent national opinion poll, going through and seeing what guidance we can suggest to our viewers who actually may be sharing some of these very same concerns, right? You ready?
Yeah, sounds perfect. Let's do it.
So I actually found that first key takeaway really surprising, and I'll share that with you. According to the poll, 77% of Americans believe that the disappearance of pensions has made the American dream less attainable. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I can certainly understand that perspective. Pensions used to be the third leg of the retirement stool. I often say, the retirement income stool that includes pensions, Social Security, and personal savings. Alongside, of course, those other two. Those pensions have largely gone extinct in recent decades, replaced with the 401k. Now, the pension, while it's about guaranteed income, people are really saying that they want a source of guaranteed lifetime income that doesn't fluctuate with the market. That's what pensions used to be. Now, there are insurance products and other alternatives that can exist that mimic pensions in that way. And some retirees even find ways to use life insurance in creative ways too, to add another source of income in retirement. Of course, there's no one solution, right? Everyone's going to have a different situation and what's right for them. And of course, we often recommend talking to a professional can help navigate what options someone has.
Yeah, the pensions are like the dinosaurs of retirement, but there are new species that come around, which is great. And to your point, there are so many options, and people really can find a plan that is customized to their needs and wants. So I want to look at the second key takeaway here. This one is really all about long-term care. So 80% of respondents are worried about the rising costs of long-term nursing care. What do you think of that finding?
This is often a concern of families as well, when they think about how they don't want to be a burden to their family, right? To really keep their independence for years ahead. Or they've even seen from previous generations that they've gotten caught in the middle or seeing how expensive that can be. Long-term care is a difficult subject. It's something that most people don't even want to talk about. And of course, that's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, people don't want long-term care. And on the other hand, people worry that if they need it, they won't be able to afford that long-term care when they do. And of course, it's become very expensive. It's skyrocketing. And as much as people want to avoid it, it's something that really should be considered in every retirement plan as far as we're concerned. There are options to cover long-term care. It depends on which one is right for each family. The bottom line is, of course, don't ignore it. Right? Really start planning for it as early as possible. And for us in our built to last process, trademark process, it is the first letter, B, right? It stands for body. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And that's really about how Medicare works and maximizing that for your family. But of course, making sure that long-term care is understood and approached as well.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. I'm glad you got to it, just figuring out how you bring it into the conversation, because I think most people, it's hard if you aren't sure you're going to use it to be saving up all. It's not cheap.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, but it's something you can't wait until the last minute, because otherwise you don't have an option.
Yeah, it's one of those pieces. It's always, of course, better to plan than just to hope that it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And with about 70% of Americans needing some type of long-term care, most lasting 2 to 3 years, it can be immensely expensive. And making sure you have a plan around it can be the difference of your family really having, again, you having independence, but not being a burden on your family, or ending up in a facility that you really don't want to be in for very long.
Sure. Great point. Well, next, William is going to be covering one more key aspect of this national poll about retirement fears. And then later, William's in the hot seat for Retirement IQ. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
They say knowledge is power. Whatever you're doing, whatever your goals are, you'll probably never say you know too much. The same is true with retirement. The more you know, the more prepared you'll be for everything in store. And we've made it easy to get started. This free offer is packed with knowledge to help answer some of retirement's biggest questions. It's our gift to you. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Act now and claim your free offer today.
Your dream car, the open road, and freedom. It's just one turn away. Or so you thought. Even when things look good, hidden problems can ruin your plans. Think of your retirement. At first glance, your investments might seem solid, but under the hood, what kind of risk are you exposed to? And what about taxes, income, healthcare costs? Don't let your retirement dreams stall out. Act now and get your free risk analysis to help keep you in the retirement fast lane.
In life, it's good to know what you have to work with. Knowing how many nails you have before building that birdhouse. Knowing how much sugar you have before starting to bake the cake. But do you know how much income you'll be able to count on in retirement? Retirement savings are one thing, but knowing how those savings can turn into income is another. Are you confident you know what your retirement income will look like? Call our team and get a free income analysis today. We can show you what you might expect for income in retirement. Find out now so you won't have to wonder later. Call for your free analysis today.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are talking about fear in retirement. The results, in fact, of a new national poll paint the picture of a generation of Americans who are often more afraid than excited when they think of retirement. So William is joining me today to hopefully help make things feel a little less scary. So far, we have talked about pensions, right, and how those have kind of maybe gone by the wayside a bit. We've also talked about long-term care. What else is sometimes frightening to people that are preparing to retire?
Some Americans are concerned about Social Security.
Yeah.
More specifically, they're typically concerned about it possibly going away. And I give a 2-hour lecture just on Social Security, so
There's a lot of ground to cover
there's
here.
a lot of ground, and I promise I won't take 2 hours. But 87% of Americans say that Congress should act now to shore up funding rather than waiting another 10 years to find a solution. But it's really radioactive, politically speaking. Anyone that brings up Social Security, the other side immediately says they're going to try to take it all away, and then all of a sudden it just silences things. Another 87% say that the program must remain a priority no matter the state of federal budget deficits, right? So the trillions of dollars that we're falling behind as a country, 9 times out of 10 people are saying this has to be a priority. So these things are in conflict with one another. And in fact, 52% of Americans even believe that Social Security should be expanded, right? They actually should pay more money every year. So there's just so much that goes on around it, but the Social Security Department says that they're on track of running out of money. The trust fund's going to be depleted and empty within the next 10 years. And so it's a big question of what are they going to do about it?
Yeah, and I think as part of, resolving some of that fear that people may have, it's more so having a conversation, not making it your entire plan, but a part of the plan and preparing if things do change with that. With all of these things in mind, everything that we've really talked about, how do Americans, in your opinion, feel about retirement overall, and according to this poll?
Yeah, so unfortunately, this poll that found with Americans in general are anxious about retirement. 79% of Americans agree that there is a retirement crisis. And that's up from 67% in 2020. Right? So in just the last 6 years or so, it's gone up 10%, which is really huge. Now, 55% of Americans are concerned that they cannot reach financial assurance in retirement or really success in that way. And then the last one I'll say is 73% of respondents said recent inflation has them even more concerned about retirement, right? As the cost of living goes up and maybe they have fixed income coming in that doesn't keep up with that, well, there's a bigger and bigger gap that people are having to sacrifice more and more of their lifestyle. And that's, it's kind of like the frog in the pot scenario, right? Where it's getting hotter and hotter and people are slowly recognizing that it's a significant problem.
So let me ask you this, as we've covered all of these results from the poll, do you feel like Americans have a right or should be concerned and fearful when it comes to retirement?
When someone has a plan, not at all.
Okay.
Right? We'll say all the time is, we help families with these types of concerns, and we believe that your golden years shouldn't have to be spent worrying about whether you'll have enough. And I know we've covered some tough subjects, and they are all important, and they can potentially be real problems, right? I don't want to take that away, but retirement could be one of the best times in your life. And for so many families, if they put the right things in place, there shouldn't be anything that you need to be afraid of. There are simple steps that every family can take to feel much more confident about retirement, and I'm excited to cover some of those today.
Great. Well, I would love to talk for a minute about built to last, which I think is something when we look at differentiating in the market, there's so much noise and information out there, but your built to last process really takes a look at how do we make people's retirement built to last in a way. Walk us through what makes it so special.
Yeah, and we're so thrilled because we really have this trademarked process that allows us to help families every single day have a confident retirement, and we help them create a retirement that's built to last. And built has 5 different letters, and it stands for the 5 pillars of retirement planning. The first B is for body. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything, and so that's helping. It's starting to help people understand Medicare and, of course, long-term care type planning. U stands for uncertainty. So this is uncertainty in the markets, right? Where people stand, how do they impact that when you're shortly before and in retirement. I stands for income for yourself when you need it, so that you have those paychecks coming in from yourself every week, every month. L stands for legacy. That's planning for yourself in the future, that even when you pass, you know exactly where those funds are going, and it's taking care of your family with wisdom for the years ahead. And T stands for tax optimization. Myself, I'm a certified tax specialist, and we think that this is an incredible missing piece for so many families. But if they really have all 5 of those pillars, then we can really help them create a retirement built to last.
Yeah, you could also have a 2-hour show just on taxes, probably a 2-day show on taxes.
yeah.
But when we think about this built process, is this something that, for lack of a better word, is it built over a matter of days and weeks?
Yeah.
Is it taken care of in one visit? How do you incorporate that?
Yeah, great question. So, we have sort of 2 simple steps, when we start a relationship with a family. And the first is just an evaluation step. So we just have a conversation, we sit down, get to know them, and go over those 5 key areas and see where they stand, the level of confidence, 1 being the least confident and the most concerns, to 8, 9, or 10 being the most confident and fully prepared in that area. And then the second step is just a verification. So that's when we run, you plug all the numbers into a software and make sure, really, should they feel strong about, that they are an 8, 9, or 10 in this area, or are they more like a 1 to 6? And then we just ask families, what would they like to do? There's no pressure to work with us or anything like that. But we believe that we want as many families as possible be an 8, 9, or 10 in each of those areas to get them into a confident future.
Yeah, it certainly is not something that happens all in one day, but built over time. I know we're going to have a lot more to come. It's been a heavy show so far, so we're going to take a pause, have a little fun. When we come back, William is in the hot seat for retirement IQ. We put his brain to the test. And later, we'll cover some simple, actionable steps you can take to help feel more confident and potentially feel less afraid heading into retirement. William has your checklist challenge. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
More is usually better, but not when it comes to taxes in retirement. Tax rates might seem high right now, but these could be the lowest rates you ever see again. Think how that could impact your retirement. The good news is there are strategies you can take advantage of now to help lower your tax bill later and help get the most out of what you've saved for retirement. But don't delay. Time is limited and rates could rise soon. So act now to get your free tax analysis. Help uncover hidden savings and optimize your income in retirement. Take action and claim your free tax analysis now.
They say knowledge is power. Whatever you're doing, whatever your goals are, you'll probably never say you know too much. The same is true with retirement. The more you know, the more prepared you'll be for everything in store. And we've made it easy to get started. This free offer is packed with knowledge to help answer some of retirement's biggest questions. It's our gift to you. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Act now and claim your free offer today.
In life, it's good to know what you have to work with. Knowing how many nails you have before building that birdhouse. Knowing how much sugar you have before starting to bake the cake. But do you know how much income you'll be able to count on in retirement? Retirement savings are one thing, but knowing how those savings can turn into income is another. Are you confident you know what your retirement income will look like? Call our team and get a free income analysis today. We can show you what you might expect for income in retirement. Find out now so you won't have to wonder later. Call for your free analysis today.
It is now time to put our knowledge to the test with this week's retirement IQ. Actually, I'm putting not ours, your knowledge to the test. So, William, are you ready?
Here we go.
Okay, first question, jump right in here. What percentage of high net worth individuals work with a financial advisor? I'll give you some options here. No cheating over here. A, 25%, B, 50%. C, 74%, or D, 90%. So again, the percentage of high net worth individuals working with a financial advisor.
Yeah, so my first assumption would have been to say 90% because there's so much that goes into really continuing to bring value there. But I would probably step down a little bit and say there's probably more of a percentage of people that say work for a company who own certain shares of that, and those have just taken off. So I'll probably go with C, 74%.
I love playing, like having game night, and it's always fun to see what people's logic is in coming to their decision. Your logic is sound. C, 74%, but I also am surprised because you think there's a lot at stake, right?
Right.
And you would think that a lot more people, high net worth individuals, would be working with a financial advisor. This is the one that I think is interesting though. 74%, they work with a financial advisor to help manage their wealth compared to only 34% of the general population.
Wow. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
it's very interesting. There's obviously, I'm a big believer in bring an expert to the table.
Right,
Just
right.
like a company that's, 7-figure company, they're bringing on a C-suite, chief investment officer, right? It's the same type of thing.
Yeah, I think I am not qualified to figure out what my retirement should be. I
Right.
need somebody else.
Right.
All right, so trivia question 2. What year did the stock market stop using fractions, as in 1 3/16 US dollars,
Sure, right.
to price shares? Is it A, 1951, B, 1977, C, 2001, or D, 1989?
Yeah, so this one, again, very interesting, but 2001. It was a recent, or a relatively recent, change that we had. And it's obviously changed a lot of different aspects of how people trade.
Yeah, 2001, not that long ago. You think maybe
Yeah.
we could have done this a little earlier. I don't know. But what is time? I think about, COVID being 5, 6 or more years away.
Yeah, how
and
do we
that
even
just
track that?
blows my mind too.
Right.
Okay. Trivia question 3. According to a survey from the Trans-America Center for Retirement Studies, what % of retirees expect to live between 90 and 99? Is
Yeah.
it 15%, 21%, 12%, or 25%?
Yeah, so it's about 1 of every 5, 21%
Yep.
of people, and another 10% are now expected to live past 100. People really are living longer than ever before, and this is why it's so important to have a really strong plan. See, retirement for many isn't just, we have to make it 5 years or 10 years. You're going without an income for maybe the next 30, 40 years. And really, how do you make that happen in a successful way without having to either go back to work or reduce your level of income? Yeah, it's huge.
You even went for the extra credit. You gave us like the 10% expected to live past 100. So, all right, you know your
People
stuff.
don't know these things, right? People don't know these things.
So I think as we talk about retirement, it's important to think about, great, we're living longer.
Yeah.
What do you have to factor into the plan because people are living longer?
Yeah. When people are thinking short term, they're really trying to have, just how much fun can we have? We waited this long, right? But there's a certain level of wisdom that comes in. If we really had to scope this out for another 2 or 3 decades, would this plan still work, right? Would this still support you and your vision, your dreams for the future? We love to help families work the other way and say, hey, how generous can we be, right? How much fun can we have early in retirement? But we have to mirror that in with making sure that we're staying independent through our retirement as well.
And you're going to be paying more in healthcare. You're also going to be experiencing more market shifts, right? Through that longevity. So certainly is a part, I know it's even in part of your built to last process as well, thinking about longevity. So there you have it. Well, still to come, you'll learn some of the simple steps you can take today to potentially help you feel more confident and less afraid of retirement. Because how useful is knowledge without action? Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
Your dream car, the open road, and freedom is just one turn away. Or so you thought. Even when things look good, hidden problems can ruin your plans. Think of your retirement. At first glance, your investments might seem solid, but under the hood, what kind of risk are you exposed to? And what about taxes, income, healthcare costs? Don't let your retirement dreams stall out. Act now and get your free risk analysis to help keep you in the retirement fast lane.
More is usually better, but not when it comes to taxes in retirement. Tax rates might seem high right now, but these could be the lowest rates you ever see again. Think how that could impact your retirement. The good news is there are strategies you can take advantage of now to help lower your tax bill later and help get the most out of what you've saved for retirement. But don't delay. Time is limited and rates could rise soon. So act now to get your free tax analysis. Help uncover hidden savings and optimize your income in retirement. Take action and claim your free tax analysis now.
In life, it's good to know what you have to work with. Knowing how many nails you have before building that birdhouse. Knowing how much sugar you have before starting to bake the cake. But do you know how much income you'll be able to count on in retirement? Retirement savings are one thing, but knowing how those savings can turn into income is another. Are you confident you know what your retirement income will look like? Call our team and get a free income analysis today. We can show you what you might expect for income in retirement. Find out now so you won't have to wander later. Call for your free analysis today.
Thanks for joining us today on Shielding Your Retirement with William Thatcher. And William, I know we have covered some of the fears. We've said that we could offer some advice as well. So I'd love to go through the checklist challenge when it comes to retirement fears. And I think we say this quote a lot. It really applies here. Knowledge is power.
Right, and we even take it a step further. Dale Carnegie said, knowledge isn't power until it's applied. So that's how I'd like to end the show today, with 3 steps that one may consider to help you start to improve your confidence when it comes to retirement. So here are a few steps you can consider to do right now. Of course, start thinking about it, right? Start talking about it. Make retirement planning a priority. Don't avoid thinking about it because it's scary, right? We talked about some scary things, and often that can make people, pull away from it. We think really diving in. One of the only ways to get a hold of a scary problem is to confront it. And of course, doing an audit of your retirement plan. Do you have a written retirement plan in place? What do you have? What are you missing? Where are those different accounts? And of course, what are the tax implications going for today and into the future? Clarity is one of the ways to dispel fear. When you understand a problem, you can help solve it. And of course, talking to an advisor, right? Doing an evaluation, even if that's not with us, talking to someone who does this every day, just retirement planning. That's all we do day in, day out. And of course, you want to make sure that they don't pull any punches, right? Tell you really the way it is, because being brutally honest about your concerns, it's one of your advisor's jobs to hear your concerns, take them seriously, and then help address them. And they're there to help you with your problems so that you know about the ones even you don't know about. And if you're afraid of retirement, we really think it's probably time to talk to an advisor.
I know we were talking about some advice that is useful if people are just starting to put together your plan. But let's say at home, people do have a plan. You mentioned audit. How often should people be getting their plan audited or looking at?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for someone to be fully prepared for retirement, we think that they should, that built to last structure framework, having an evaluation done every 6 to 12 months, because there's so much that can change. And specifically, we help a lot of families who are close to or in retirement. That's all who we help. And for those families, they're often sick and tired of paying too much in taxes. And they have, they're really curious whether recent tax code changes might allow them to save a ton on taxes, right? That's one of the main things that we hear. And so really, again, every 6 to 12 months, as well as legacy changes, those things, we think it's probably time for an evaluation and just get a checkup done.
Great. Well, we hope you have certainly learned a lot as you joined us. We thank you so much. With everything going on in our world today, it's no wonder that there may be concerns about preserving your wealth for your future and your loved ones. William and his team can help you develop wealth preservation strategies so you can spend your time doing what you love with the people who matter most to you. For William and the team at Thatcher Wealth Management, I'm Kelly Dame. Have a great week, and we will see you right back here next time.